today, got off work, came out here, worked, tried to get some stuff off, realized that I needed a deep socket 10mm to get off this throttle body right here. So we're working on getting the valve cover off right now. I just got all the bolts out. They were all 10mm, and now I just need to take it off, and we're gonna see what 13 years of sitting looks like. It's coming off pretty easy. All right, so I got it off, and it actually looks really clean in there. It's surprising, actually. There looks like there's maybe a little scoring on the cam, but other than that, it looks really well maintained. I feel like this engine was in better condition than I thought it was. Still not keeping it, but you know, better condition than I thought it was previously. I figured out it was actually just a 13mm deep socket, which I did have, so I was able to get off the throttle body. And as soon as I pulled it off, this plastic-ish, or I don't know what this material is, kind of a metal plastic mix kind of thing, I have no idea, but it's gasket material, and it was brittle and it broke off immediately. You can see that, and it looks kind of nasty in there. Lots of buildup from, I guess, the years of sucking in air, and I kind of want to see what the rest of it looks like, so let's figure that out. It's starting to look pretty empty. It's definitely come a long way. I've removed quite a bit so far, and I guess I'm trying to remove the wiring harness and the distributor cap, maybe. Just a bunch of little stuff, just to move it out of the way, get it ready to remove. So one thing I just learned, that's my fuel rail. I did not know that. And all these little connections right here are going directly into the fuel injectors, it looks like. So that's pretty neat. I have no idea how to remove one of those, so that's something I'll have to figure out. It looks like right there is the, if I had to guess, the fuel pressure gauge. And I doubt this thing has any fuel pressure built up, because one of the issues that I think this issue had when it was stopped was that its fuel pump was out. Now I'm just trying to remove the alternator, get that out of the way. It seems to be one of the only things keeping us from reaching everything. We just took out the coolant reservoir right here. All we need to do is remove this. So the alternator came out all right. Now we're just working on getting the power steering off. There's 2 bolts. We already got one off. We had to use a little bit of leverage to get it off. And it looks like there's another bolt down there. Can't really see it on the camera, but it's down there. And we can get all these off before we can pull the power steering. All right, so we got it detached. There was a bolt that we didn't see before. It's right next to the one that's underneath. And now we just got to work on getting off. Let's see if I can give you guys a look. There's a hose down there, and then there's a wire connection down there. So we ran into a little bit of a problem when taking it apart. This right here needs a flare nut wrench. And I do have a bunch of those, but it's a little hard. You can't put a socket over it because there's a little tube going into it. So we just need to grab a wrench like that just to be able to get that bolt off. And then that should be everything holding in the power steering pump. Anybody curious, just in case you want to buy this, this is a 5/8 on your specific vehicle. Take just normal wrenches and fit it up to it. And you might be able to get it off with just a normal wrench, like a crescent wrench or something like that. Don't waste money and just buy a bunch of them. Buy the one you need. All right, we just got it out. So this engine is looking even more empty. It's got pretty much nothing left in it. We probably need to take out the intake manifold next. Probably. And maybe the exhaust manifold. All that stuff's gonna have to come off no matter what, but that's probably the next logical thing to do. Maybe that distributor cap, that thing's kind of in the way of a few things. Maybe this, whatever this is down here, I honestly have no idea what it is. Something. Accessory drive, AC maybe, who knows. But we'll figure it out and we'll record it. Checking out the AC next. We're sliding over a bar over our ratchet, just get a little bit more leverage because this thing's really stuck on there. Go ahead and pry that off. I think it's really stuck on there. Coming off. And there's another bolt below it, and then we're gonna have to find a way to take off the little hoses that go to the AC, but it should come off pretty cleanly, I hope. We can't really figure out how to get these little rails off, so we're gonna wait until tomorrow because it's getting cold and dark. We're gonna postpone this until we can figure out how to take it off. It's a new day, so we are taking off the distributor cap and just the whole assembly. It's only held in by one bolt that I can see. So I pretty much already loosened it, and it looks like it's about to come up. So we can see, yeah, it was just that easy. Just one bolt. Looks like there's some gear there. So we just yanked out the fuel rail, figured out how to get it out. There was just 2 bolts, and then we just kind of yanked it out. I wouldn't recommend doing that if you're going to keep it, but it worked for our scenario. So now all we have to do is remove this air intake, or the intake manifold, I mean. Got the intake off, and it was only like 8 or 9 bolts, and it's still connected to something. Let's see what that is. It's just a little clamp. We'll unscrew that, and then we'll throw it into the junk pile. We're nothing but professionals here. This is how you remove an EGR pipe professionally. We removed the exhaust manifold, and we have taken out all of the transmission bolts. So the only thing holding this engine up should be the motor mounts. So we're going to try to jack up the motor a little bit to try and remove it, but that's going to be in the next video.